Okay, so for today's high school algebra class, we'll be solving a system of equations using elimination. We have 3 boxes along with an extension problem at the end. So the first thing we'll be doing for box 1 is learning how to solve a system using elimination. Last class we learned how to solve a system using substitution, where we substituted our equation with an isolated variable, in this case x equals y plus 2, into our other equation. So we'd be plugging in y plus 2 into this x variable here to get one variable in our equation. In elimination, we have 2 equations in standard form, and we want to find an x and y that work for both equations. So to do this, we would add or subtract the equations to get an equation in one variable. In this case, we have x plus y equals 8 and x minus y equals 2, so to get rid of one of our variables, we can add our 2 equations together. And just as a note, we are allowed to get rid of whichever variable first, but in this case it would be easier to eliminate our y variable first because y minus y equals 0. So when we add our systems of equations together, we have x plus x equals 2x, y plus negative y equals 0, and 8 plus 2 equals 10. So to isolate our x variable, we perform an inverse operation of multiplication. So we divide 2 to both sides of our equation. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we're left with x equals 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So now that we have our x value, to find our y value, we can plug in our x value into either one of our initial equations. So I'll choose x plus y equals 8, and we have 5 plus y equals 8. To isolate our y variable, we'll subtract 5 to both sides of our equation, and we're left with y equals 8 minus 5 is 3. So our unique solution is 5, 3. If we want to check our solution, we can plug in our unique solution into both of these initial equations, and they should equal each other. So 5 plus 3 equals 8. 5 plus 3 does equal 8, so this equals. And 5 minus 3 equals 2. 5 minus 3 does equal 2, so this also equals each other. So our unique solution is 5, 3. Now moving on to box 2, which is an example problem, let's try solving the system using elimination. So we have 5x minus y equals 6, and 2x plus 2y equals 12. So the system is a bit different from box 1. Our first step is to notice that we have a minus y here and a 2y here, and it would be great to have a negative 2y here for the y terms to cancel out. So we can do that by multiplying this equation by 2. So if I rewrite our equation in the bottom, 2 times 5x is 10x, 2 times negative y is negative 2y, equals 2 times 6 is 12. Now rewrite our second equation down below. So now we can add our 2 equations together. And if I do that, 10x plus 2x equals 12x, negative 2y plus 2y equals 0, and 12 plus 12 equals 24. If I divide 12 to both sides of our equation, we have x equals 24 divided by 12 equals 2. So now we want to plug in our x value into one of our initial equations. So I'll choose the second one. So we have 2 times 2 plus 2y equals 12. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 2y equals 12. Subtract 4 to both sides of our equation. We get 2y equals 12 minus 4 equals 8. And then divide 2 to both sides of our equation, and y equals 4. So our unique solution is 2, 4. Now, box 3 will be a U-try. We have our system of equations, and I want you to try to solve the system using the elimination method just like we did in box 2. So hopefully you were able to get the solution, If not, here's how we do it. So our first step is to notice that we have a negative x here and a 4x here. And that would be great to have a negative 4x here, so our x terms cancel out. So we can do this by multiplying 4 to our first equation. And if we rewrite this, 4 times negative x is negative 4x, plus 4 times 3y is 12y, equals 4 times negative 9 is negative 36. And we'll rewrite our second equation down here. So now we can continue like we did before, and we'll add our two equations. Negative 4x plus 4x is 0. 12y plus 2y is 14y. Negative 36 plus 8 equals negative 28. So if we divide 14 to both sides of this equation, we get y equals negative 28 divided by 14 is negative 2. Now, to find our x value, we can plug our y value into either one of these beginning equations, and I'll choose the second one. So we have 4 times x plus 2 times negative 2 equals 8. 4x, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, equals 8. We add 4 to both sides of our equation. 4x equals 8 plus 4 is 12. Divide 4 to both sides of our equation. X equals 12 divided by 4 is 3. So our unique solution is 3, negative 2. Now let's take a look at the extension problem. Before, we only had to multiply one equation by a value to cancel out the x or y term. Here requires more steps. How can we change our equations to cancel out one of our variables? Be ready to discuss this in class, and I'll see you tomorrow.